gentlemen, welcome to the show. This is going to be basically an episode to help people out that have been going through struggles, have been going through like some rough shit in life. Hopefully, me sharing my story is going to help somebody that's in need, because I know that while I was going through it, I was really looking for like something to relate to, like a video like this, or somebody that just like could understand what I went through. So yeah, hopefully this is going to help somebody out there that really needs the help. And secondly, this is going to be also for my friends and family that have been wondering what's been going on. Like, why have I been so MIA, so like unresponsive, dismissive, and like not answering texts, not answering phone calls. This is for y'all too, because I just went through some crazy shit that made me realize how fucked up I was and how I needed to change my whole life. Hopefully this is gonna help somebody. So yeah, here we go. Most of my close friends know this. I was born in a very dysfunctional family. Like, my dad was an alcoholic, the aggressive type of alcoholic. But when he's not drunk, he's great. My dad is like a super like humble person, like very like down to earth. But my dad would get super drunk and become aggressive, and police gets involved and shit. So I've been going through that ever since I was born, basically. So at a very young age, I developed OCD. I was maybe like 8-10 years old. So at that age, I had no clue what the fuck was going on with me. And I'm first generation immigrant here in Canada. So like past generations before that, we're very ignorant to like mental illness, like getting help with therapy, psychiatrists or psychologists, all of that. We're very like late when it comes to shit like that. So yeah, I started getting OCD as a young kid. And for people that don't know what OCD is, it's basically obsessive compulsive disorder. I can't give you like the Webster definition, but like I could explain it better with examples. So for example, me, it was specifically the washing of the hands. That's how it started. I would have to wash my hands in a specific motion, and that motion I would have to repeat that 5 times, and that whole series I would have to repeat that 5 times, but with a 5-second pause between each. So like you see how it could get, like how far this shit can go. And basically if I didn't do that, in my head, something bad would happen, but it was always related to death with my parents. Like, my dad would die in a car accident because he's mad drunk. He would kill my mom by accident because he's mad drunk. Like, it was all related to death. Like, I had the reasoning to say that, no, that makes no sense. Not because I'm washing my hands a certain type of way, my mom's gonna die or my dad's gonna die. Like, I knew it made no sense. But since it was such a small thing, like, just wash your hands this specific way, I was like, you know what? Why not just do it, right? Like, why am I gonna risk something bad happening? But I'm young, I'm stupid, I don't know what the fuck is going on in my head, honestly. It would take like a big part of my day. Like, for example, instead of taking 2 minutes to wash my hands, what it normally take, it would take me like 15 to 30 minutes now. Instead of taking 15 to 20 minutes to do the dishes, it would take me like 30 to an hour to 2 hours to 3 hours. Like, it got really severe. And so I went through years dealing with that, but not knowing what it was, actually thinking it was normal, kind of, until one day my sister caught me in the whole ritual act. And I was washing my hands, and my sister's like a very straight up person. She busts in the room and she started laughing, pointing me out like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you fucking washing your hands like this? Like, you're not a doctor. Like, what the fuck is you doing? Like, that shit traumatized me so much, of the fact of being exposed and like being humiliated like that. But that was very important for me. That was when I realized, holy shit, this ain't normal. I need to do something about it. Rather I control it or I make it disappear. But then shit started getting worse at home. My parents want to get a divorce and shit just got very ugly. So I started getting stress and anxiety, but like on a daily basis. And when I say anxiety, I mean like, for example, like if you've ever been in a car crash or like a bike crash or whatever type of crash, those last like 3 to 2 seconds right before you crash, that like panic moment of you having nothing under control and shit, I would get that feeling during the whole day. Like, I'm shaking, I'm cold, but I'm sweating, I have trouble breathing. It's almost like I'm constantly in an anxiety attack. It's horrible. It's dominating my whole life. It's horrible. Then I get to school. I'm not able to concentrate in school because I have this OCD. It's affecting me in every aspect. Even when I got to read the board, there has to be a 5-second break between each word. When I'm counting stuff, when I'm trying to take a pen, and then all of a sudden I see other pens, I have to count how much pens and do the whole series. It's affecting every aspect of my life. And I'm just a kid at this point. I'm in elementary school, and I'm just trying to figure out how the fuck I could get back home faster so I can make sure that my dad is not drunk, make sure that my mama is okay, and like try to intervene. Like at a very young age, I was too worried about shit that I shouldn't be worrying about as a kid. So like to the point where if my parents would go out on the weekends and I would stay at home, I would literally stay at the window during the whole night praying for my parents to make it back home safe. Yeah, no, that fucked me up. That really fucked me up. So then one day, my sister's watching this Oprah show, and it was about OCDs, but we don't know what OCD means. So she's just watching it. And then all of a sudden, the guy that came on the show, he had the exact same things that I did. The washing of the hands. He had a couple of others, like locking of the doors, the dishes, me too, counting. So when my sister saw that, she automatically clicked. She's like, holy shit, this is what my motherfucking brother has. So she talked to me about it. We watched the show together. And she decided that she was going to get me some help. And yeah, I think that she hooked me up with like psychologists and shit. So I started getting help, but then the psychologist really wanted to get my parents involved so they could realize how fucked up I am and how it's been mostly caused and provoked by the problems at home. So whenever they got involved, my parents were shocked. They were shocked, felt guilt. So they wanted to completely change everything at home. I remember they started taking couples therapy. My dad stopped drinking. So yeah, between 14 to like 17, those were the best years of my life. Everything was going great. But then with time, my mom still wanted to get a divorce, which is completely understandable. So, and then just to make shit worse, this I'm gonna go through really quick. When I turned 18, I've always been like a very ambitious guy. I've always liked to make money. So as a dumbass, I got involved in and just to go quick with that shit went wrong. I got fucked up with all my money. Not only did I lose all of my money, but I was in debt for now like 12 grand. That added another level of stress on me. Like I remember I was so worried, so stressed, so anxious. Cause like back then, 15 grand to like a 18-year-old kid sounds like the world, right? So like that shit drove me crazy. So I did some worse shit to get out of that situation. I started doing stuff to get more money. That shit went left. And all of a sudden, I'm now living in a paranoia world where, like, I think that people are following me, people that I know information out of them that they don't want me to, like, tell the police on. And yeah, that just added to, like, the whole situation. Like, I remember at that moment, my OCD started going fucking crazy, like, uncontrollable, like, crazy. But it's getting so hectic to the point where I could lose the whole day doing that. So I was, like, living in a trapped world, literally, where I can't get out of it. I have to follow these orders. I have to, like, do whatever has to be done to go on with the day. But it's now taken over my whole day. And so, yeah, after the whole divorce thing, my mama was really depressed. And one day she came back home and she was like, you know what? If one day I don't come back, it's because I killed myself. So all of a sudden, one day it's like 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, and she's not back. And that's when I start panicking. Like, whoa, like, is she for real? Like, I know she's like depressed and fucked up, but is she really like... So that made me like go crazy. I called the cops. I told them, listen, I think my mom is suicidal. She left 4 hours ago. She still hasn't been back. She never comes back this late. Usually like something's wrong. So the police comes. They ask me like, well, what's she wearing? What's the car she was driving and shit. So they go out to go look for her. They come back like hours later. It's now 4 o'clock in the morning. They have no clue what the fuck is going on. And all of a sudden, we get like this radio call, and the dispatcher's telling the police that they were able to locate her cell phone through a radio tower that was in a 5-kilometer radius from the hospital. But that for me just confirmed it. I was like, wow, 5-kilometer radius from the hospital? That means they found her dead. She did it. It's over. So we drive there going crazy like a motherfucker. And when we get there, they tell me that, yeah, my mama attempted to kill herself and that she's really fucked up right now. And that all of a sudden, like, made my biggest fears reality. Like, I've always lived in total fear, like, fear of death from my parents, fear of the divorce, fear was what dominated my life. But now seeing this made me realize that fear is actually closer than I ever thought. That whole OCD thing, I used to think that shit was just in my head. But now that my mama actually attempted to kill herself, all of a sudden this shit is realer than it ever was. So that makes me go crazy. At that moment, I remember I was like losing it. I was losing my mind. Stress and anxiety and the OCD is now bursting out of my fucking head. I remember going back home, couldn't fucking sleep. Next day, couldn't fucking sleep. And that's when everything started going downfall for me. After a couple of days of not being able to sleep, I was going insane. Like, I just want to sleep. So I remember that back then we used to pop mollies on the weekends with my friends. And I remember that when I used to pop the mollies, the OCD, the stress, and the anxiety would totally disappear. So I was like, you know what? Let me pop a pill tonight just so I could like go through the day, and then like maybe I'll get some sleep. And that shit worked like a charm. But that's when my downfall started. Therefore, I started like taking those pills on a daily basis, but only telling me, okay, I'm just gonna do this for a week or two. But that's how I got hooked. All of a sudden, I'm totally addicted to the pills. I'm taking. It started off with like 3 pills a day, popping one in the morning, two at night. But I mean, you start building tolerance. You start getting used to it. You start like needing more. So it went from 3 to 4 to 5, and being high on that will make you so like you don't really give a fuck about the shit that really matters. Like, so that made me be very distant with my friends, family. Friends started calling. I mean, like the usual friends, like wanted to chill, wanted to like go out, but I would be like so. I would always be skipping people, always be canceling on people, always like disappeared, never answered the phone calls, never answered text messages. But that's because I'm high, like. And then when I'm actually trying to like actually respond, I'm ashamed to think that I'm so high, so fucked up. Like, how the fuck am I actually gonna go see this person? I don't want this person to see me in this state. So I would always end up canceling when I like try to make plans. That rubbed people the wrong way, which is completely understandable. Because instead of just canceling and telling them that I'm going through some shit, I would just disappear, not answer. So yeah, it started with the friends, and then it was now with family members. And being high every single day around your whole family will fuck you up, bro. Like, you're not normal. You're not processing shit. You're not thinking right. So I remember one day, like, something happened with my cousins that made me paranoid as fuck, where I was I was convinced that everybody was plotting against me, talking against me, and just hated me and just never believed in me. So I decided to cut everybody off. Every fucking family member is out of it. I'm like, you know what? Fuck everybody. Nobody ever believed in me. Nobody ever like loved me and shit. Fuck all of y'all. I'm out. So at this point, I've cut everybody off. My friends, my best friends, my close friends, my acquaintances, my family members, my close family members, my sister, everybody, my mother, my cousins, everybody but my father and my grandmother. So I go on through life, try to go to work, try to like live normally. But then all of a sudden at work, shit started showing. Like my OCD started showing. Like I remember I used to work at the membership at Costco. And one day, one of my boss, he noticed. He was like, yo, Emilio, like, what the fuck is going on? And shout out to Rafael, yo, I fucking love you, bro. I owe you my life, B. And Rafael, he's like kind of like in my group age, so like we were super chill. Like we were able to be like super professional at work. Like, yo, boss, what's going on? What do you need? Blah, blah, blah. But then all of a sudden, like at break, we could be like, yo, look at that bitch walking around right there with that fat ass. Like, that was my boy, like. So I remember, like, he G-checked me one day. He was like, yo, bro, like, the fuck is going on? I can tell something's wrong. You're normally not this slow. And I could tell you're, like, in your head, like, what the fuck is going on? And the fact that he noticed that made me panic. Because, like, people that know me, especially at work, know that I'm the guy that is always smiling, always in a good mood, always happy. Like, I've heard my bosses tell other people, like, yo, why... You need to be like Emilio. Like, even if you're having a bad day, he's always in a good mood. He's always laughing. He's always smiling. Like, that like cheerful like attitude. But that honestly, it's a persona. That is some shit that I built. Is a mask that I put on to like protect myself. Cause honestly, I've lived through so much crazy shit that I feel like if I didn't create that like mask or image or persona, I would have been like very depressed, very fucked. So that was like my way of like not dealing with my problems, creating a new person and creating like a whole new image. So when he started noticing at work, that really stressed me because I don't want people to know that from me. I want to keep that image that I have. And I was very afraid of that stigma of that, oh, he's mentally ill stigma or he's fucked up stigma. So like that shit scared the fuck out of me when he noticed. So I was like, you know what? I have to tell him the truth. It's getting too far. Like, fuck it. So I told him everything, everything from A to Z, everything, 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 everything. And yo, like he went out of his way to make sure that I was good, to get the help that I needed. He was talking with the bosses because he was like backing me up because I was like missing work. I was like, the OCD got so fucking strong that I could, like I said, I could go through a whole day just going through the OCD process, and I can't leave the house until I finish it. So I would like miss days at work just because I'm fucked up in my head. It was scary. Like I remember I really wanted to get out of it. So I remember I reached out to one of my friends, which was Jesus KU. And yeah, I remember I hit him up because he was doing a podcast, and I was like, listen, I love what you're doing. Keep up the good work. So we linked up, we started doing our own podcast, and that's how the podcast came about. And I was doing that to like doing that hoping that that was going to be like my ladder to climb out of my addiction and my hole. That was how I was going to approach this. So we started doing the podcast. Everything's doing great. I'm feeling normal again. I'm slowly feeling like I'm going to get the energy to get out of it. And then all of a sudden, I meet this girl at work. There was something about her the first time I saw her that I was like, whoa. So we started like talking about work. Like I remember we went out one day after work, and like I was giving her tips and shit. So that started from us chilling just on a professional level to us chilling on a like friend level, and then us seeing each other, and like shit got serious all of a sudden. But yeah, shit went sour, like very sour, very fast. But it got like very nasty, and at that moment, honestly, that was the last shit I needed. Like that stress and anxiety from being in a very toxic relationship was the last shit I needed. Like I'm now not eating because I'm so stressed and anxious from the relationship. Not sleeping at all, and all of this I'm hiding it. She doesn't know I'm on pills every day. She doesn't know none of my traumas. She knew a little bit about like my mama, like suicide and like all of that shit, but the OCD, the anxiety, the stress, the me not sleeping at all, she didn't really know this. Like this was something that I always tried to hide. So when that shit ended, and something bad happened on my dad's side of the family also, like that really fucked me up. That was, like I said, that was the last thing that I needed at that moment. I was already very fucked up, almost at my breaking point. And that last event, those two events that happened at the same time really like just blew my brain out. Like, and yeah, at that moment I started like having again crazy insomnia. Like instead of just sleeping 1 or 2 hours a day, I'm now not sleeping at all. But I mean like at all. I went through 4 days without sleeping, and after 4 days without sleeping, you start going insane, yo. Like your brain is not properly functioning, your thought process is not working at all, and you're just irrational. You're having all these negative thoughts, all these like crazy thoughts that you never had in your head before. So I at this point I just want to end my life. I end up swallowing every pill that I had left. But then all of a sudden, 30 minutes later, my heart starts pounding out of my chest. But like I've never felt my heart pound like this. Like this shit was scary, and that's when it finally kicked in. That I'm overdosing, and that there's no coming back. And that shit scared the fuck out of me. I called 911, told them that I was overdosing and that I needed help. Hanged up the phone. And I think maybe like 10 minutes later, I think I passed out because I don't remember shit after that. And then all of a sudden, I wake up at the hospital. And at that moment, I was like, wow, I almost overdosed and nobody would have known. Or even worse, nobody would even know why. Or what I was going through. And I would have died alone, basically. And that really scared me. Like that made me want to like get my whole life together. Like, so then the nurse busts in the room and she's like, okay, like you got here, you almost overdosed, blah blah blah. You were lucky that you called in time. We were able to like clean up your whole stomach and like empty that shit. But like if you would have called like later, you would have been fried, bro. It would have been over. That whole thing was my rock bottom, so I knew that I couldn't get any lower than this. This was the absolute bottom. And the only way to go from here is up. That's the only way. So therefore I have to fuck up. I have to switch up my life. I'm going through what I was going through right now. I needed my family close. I needed my loved ones and the support from everybody. So not at that moment I knew I needed to change everything. So from then on, they made me go through these psychiatric evaluations, like 3-hour evaluations. That shit was intense. Like, that shit was crazy. And that night they were like, listen, we don't want to give you the results right away. We need you to stay in one night at the psychiatric ward. We want to like monitor you. We want to make sure that you're good. And that was some scary shit. Like, the psychiatric ward is exactly like it is in the movies, yo. Like, people screaming, people cussing out the nurses, them like throwing their ashtrays because they're not happy with the food. Like, that shit is exactly like in the movies, yo. Like, and that scared the fuck out of me because I'm like, I know I'm fucked up, but I ain't as fucked up as this person, right? But like, why am I here? Like, and with that comes, of course, prescription pills, because they have to like give you prescription pills. But I've been very informed on how that world goes and like the people that get addicted and everything, and like how like pharma is very like a fucked up industry. So like, I was very afraid to like get on those. I went through a whole week just battling those pills, going through the pills, but now in like a total zombie mode. But it's fucked up for me because I'm like, I'm trying to get off the pill addiction, but now you guys are giving me all these prescription pills that are fucking me up, maybe even worse. Like, how the fuck am I gonna get off of this? So then they prescribe me these other pills, which when I did research on it, these are fucking schizophrenia pills. But I'm not schizophrenic. Why the fuck are they giving me these pills? But now I'm back home and I'm like, nah, like, how am I gonna flip my need to like get high and get a pill? So whenever I'm feeling like stressed, anxious, or like just that fiendish like want to have like drugs, I would run to the gym. And that shit worked like a charm. Doing cardio while you're like really like in that need is the best thing I think you could like ever do. Like, that shit helped like a motherfucker. And after like a couple of days, I was able to get off the pills. I was like, wow, this is great, perfect. Like, I'm finally sober again. I was super happy to get out of it because I want to get my life back together. I don't want to hit that rock bottom anymore. Like, there's no way I'm going back there. There's no way. So from then I started fixing shit with my family, talked with them, got everything back together, and they just open-armed accepted me back in their lives and are now giving me full support. That's been such a blessing for me, and honestly, I need to like thank everybody, every one of my family members that have accepted me back, because that's exactly what I needed right now. So like, I have a lot of positives or like things that I want to accomplish that is going to make me stay in the right lane. So that's very important, guys. You have to have an objective, something to live through, something positive in the future that is going to make you stay in the right lane. So yeah, this is how I got out of it. No matter how dark shit gets, no matter how fucking crazy your addiction gets, how fucked up mentally your issues get, how fucked up financially you get, like, no matter what it is, even if you feel like you're alone in this world, there's always somebody that is willing to help and wants to see you get out of it. I didn't believe in myself until I started getting the feedback from my bosses, from people that I would never think that they would care like that, but they went out of their way to make sure I was good. So please, people, go get the help you need. Don't be afraid to talk about your shit. Don't be ashamed of your situation. We all have fucked up shit that we're going through. We all live in this society together, this stressful ass society, but that's why we need to be able to talk. Fuck the stigmas when it comes to like mental illness or like problems, whatever it is. Fuck all of that. Like, we need to like get up and talk about this. So please, people, do never give up. Don't ever let yourself hit rock bottom, because like I said, I was lucky. I was hella lucky, but don't let yourself get to that point. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm hoping this is going to help anybody that is going through struggles. And please, like, if ever like you have questions or you just want to talk about it, or like, please feel free to contact me. Hit me up on the comments. Just whatever. I'm gonna be more than glad to help anybody that's going through this, because like I said, when I was going through it, I wish I could have found a video like this, or I wish I could have contacted somebody that I know I can relate to fully. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm hoping you guys enjoyed this, and remember, guys, we're blessed. If you woke up this morning, you winning. You feel me? Just like that, we out. Peace out. Emilio Hernandez checking out this bitch. Yeah.